Hey everybody, welcome back to a brand new Green Spirit video registered. So, just a day ago, this article was released in the internet in the Fundación Canna web, right? So I'm gonna read it, and it was really interesting. The title, I must say, it is. Well, yes. Let's read in English. Come on, man. Cannabidiol and how it affects the regulation of human genes. Right. By Tanja Bagar. Dr. Tanja Bagar is a microbiologist with a PhD in biomedicine. She has gained extensive research experience in biotechnology, molecular biology, and cell signaling in laboratories in Slovenia, Germany, and UK. Her focus has mainly been on the endocannabinoid system and active substances from cannabis or hemp. Her work led to the formation of the International Institute for Cannabinoids, ICANNA, where she is the CEO and chairman of the expert council. She is also the deputy director and head of research and development in an environmental company. She is active in the academic sphere as well. She lectures on microbiology and is the dean of the master's program of Ecoremediations at the Faculty Alma Mater Europaea. Right, we have here a beautiful picture of a DNA sequence full of little green flowers. Hey, I like this. Looks beautiful. Peaceful, right? Cannabidiol is one of the most abundant cannabinoids contained in the cannabis sativa L plant. In 2018, the World Health Organization published a critical review report which found across a number of controlled and open-label trials that CBD is generally well tolerated with a good safety profile and does not have any potential for abuse. In fact, cannabinoid is the one cannabidiol CBD. It's the cannabinoid with the most known medicinal effects, right? It has a huge spectrum of biological effects with potential benefits in several conditions such as anxiety, inflammation, neuropathic pain, and neurological conditions. It's currently thought that CBD engages many different targets in the body, and its effects are thought to be due to multiple molecular mechanisms of action. So, CBD activates several receptors and modulates many others. It also binds to enzymes and affects their activity. For example, CBD slows down the cytochrome P450 group of enzymes in the liver. And this is why we need to be careful in combining CBD with certain medications, since cytochrome P450 is responsible for eliminating many drugs from our body. Given this broad interaction with receptors, enzymes, ion channels, and transporters, it's safe to say that CBD has around or over 100 molecular targets in our body. Currently, the clinical efficacy of CBD is not completely understood. Evidence derived from randomized clinical trials, in vitro and in vivo models, and real-world clinical observations support the use of CBD in many conditions and clinical situations. In clinical practice, we often see benefits in patients beyond a better clinical outcome. This is due to this extensive network of interactions. Human beings possess an extraordinary genetic architecture with an estimated 20,000 to 25,000 genes encoded within our DNA. This is where all the information about each of us is stored. Every cell carries information about the whole organism. Remarkably, despite the vast complexity of human physiology, the number of genes we possess is comparable to, and sometimes smaller than that of other species. Right? So here we have the genome size map starting with the Paris japonica lily, which has got 150 billion base pairs, and so on. I would like to see this picture with full resolution, but not this time. Sorry. We're gonna get through the gene regulation issue. While humans obviously do not carry the largest collections of genes, we are considered among the most complex organisms in terms of biochemistry, anatomy, cognition, and behavior. Our complexity arises not from the number of genes we have, but from how the genes are regulated, expressed, and interact within biological networks. We have very complex gene regulation mechanisms which decide if genes are turned on or off, ensuring that the biological functions happen at the right time and place and with the appropriate intensity. While the number of genes for all mammals may be similar, the differences in gene regulation are key to what makes each species unique. In every cell, only a specific set of genes is active, and gene expression needs to be tightly regulated in response to internal and external signs. The key processes involved in gene regulation include epigenetic modification. These changes act like switches or dimmers that control whether a gene is active or inactive without changing the gene itself. Transcription factors, which are proteins that stick to specific parts of DNA to either help or block the gene, and microRNA, small molecules that control gene activity. Proper gene regulation is crucial for maintaining cellular and overall health. Dysregulated gene expression can lead to various symptoms as well as to uncontrolled cell growth, as in cancer or cell death, contributing to various arise of diseases. CBD and gene expression. In humans, gene regulation is influenced by various factors, including the environment, diet, as well as plant substances like cannabidiol, which has been shown to affect gene expression by interacting with specific molecular pathways. A critical mechanism through which CBD exerts its effects is through its interaction with a specific receptor called the peroxisome proliferator activated receptor gamma. Whoa, this is new for me, right? So this peroxisome proliferator activated receptor gamma is a transcription factor involved in the regulation of glucose metabolism, fatty acid storage, and insulin sensitivity. It also modulates inflammation and oxidative stress responses. When this receptor is activated, it binds to specific DNA sequences known as PPAR response elements, which regulate the transcription of genes involved in these vital biological processes. The role of the, again, peroxisome proliferated proliferator activated receptor gamma is particularly significant in some of the most prevalent diseases in modern society, like type 2 diabetes, obesity, cancer, and neurodegenerative conditions. Here in this picture, we have what's called the peroxisome proliferator activated receptor. And here we have the CBR coming from cannabinoids and the FABP and metabolic enzymes. Each one of those regulate the transcription of the genes, right? So CBD's ability to activate those receptors was first highlighted in several studies that demonstrated CBD's anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective properties. It was demonstrated that CBD binds to and activates these receptors, leading to the upregulation of genes that promote anti-inflammatory effects and protect against neuronal damage. This interaction is crucial in diseases such as epilepsy, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, where neuroinflammation and oxidative stress contribute to the progression of the disease. Additionally, this receptor's activation by CBD has been linked to the suppression of cancer cell proliferation and metastases. Studies have shown that this receptor, again, activation can induce cell cycle arrest and apoptosis, which is a programmed cell death, in certain types of cancer cells, suggesting that the anti-cancer properties of CBD could be working at least in part through this pathway. Since cannabinoid receptors and so on, especially CB2R and PPAR delta, have shown to exhibit biological relevance in common pathopsychological conditions. Researchers have also been exploring multi-targeting strategies where cannabinoid receptors and I still can remember the name. The PPAR delta are targeted simultaneously, the so-called dual targeting. So, in the case of these two known receptors, this has emerged as a promising therapeutic strategy due to the complementary roles these receptors play in regulating inflammation, immune responses, and metabolic processes. Such dual targeting of CB2R and PPAR delta aim to enhance therapeutic efficacy by modulating both immune and metabolic pathways. This strategy has been investigated in various conditions, including neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, autoimmune diseases, and metabolic disorders, right? So, below, areas where very promising research has already been done are listed. Metabolic syndrome and diabetes 2 type, anxiety and PTSD, blood-brain barrier permeability following ischemia, systemic sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, and cancer. Conclusion from the study. CBD's ability to influence gene regulation, particularly through its interaction with PPAR delta, opens exciting avenues for therapeutic interventions, which is not the same. The activation of the PPAR delta by CBD shows promise in the treatment of a wide range of conditions. With new research, we are gaining foundations for understanding the molecular mechanisms underlying CBD's ability to modulate gene expression. As research continues to unfold, CBD's role in gene regulation could lead to new, targeted therapies for complex diseases, offering hope for patients with conditions that have been difficult to treat thus far. However, while preclinical studies are promising, further clinical research is needed to fully understand the potential of CBD and the effects of these changes in the gene expression profile. It is crucial to establish how CBD's modulation of genes impacts long-term health outcomes, especially in complex multifactorial diseases like cancer, neurodegeneration, and autoimmune disorders. Additionally, the variability in individual responses to CBD, influenced by factors like genetics, dosage, and delivery methods, must be carefully studied to optimize its therapeutic application. As the science evolves, it will become increasingly clear how CBD can be integrated into personalized approaches to optimize health. CBD thus hold the promise to reshape and refine the landscape of medical treatments, but rigorous evidence is needed to translate new molecular insights into patient-focused treatments. Here we can also have a look at the references that have been consulted for developing this article. All the information in this article is based on scientific studies. So this was the article on how CBD has the ability to affect the regulation of human genes, which is something that it's not new that we know we can do, but it's again gaining scientifically based evidence to support its potential for being a key to life, right? This is green spirit. You know, we know it can help, but we don't know how much and how deeply and how profoundly and how transformative it can be. I hope that you just enjoyed this video. It was an interesting article by Tanja Bagar, and that's it. See you in the next video.